StandTheMup.org here with one of my favorite strong style fighters, Brian the Predator Rogers, getting ready to take on Vitor Vienna, 12-2 from the Juan Fight Team. How are you feeling?
Good, can't complain at all, man. Glad it's finally here.
Yeah, a few days out. What is it, Friday night? What do you think about the new Friday format?
I think it's great, for multiple reasons. I think, personally, I like that Fridays because it gets me out of town a day earlier, just on the business, and then from a media perspective, with it being on Friday nights, we're not going against the UFC, and then also we're not going against, major sporting events like we did during college football. All the big games are on Saturday nights, and with it being on Fridays now, and that going to be the new format, it should be a lot easier for media attention, national attention, and also, TV viewers and sponsors for the fighters themselves.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty great move. I'm happy that Bellator is making the smart decisions early instead of waiting till the end and trying to make them when it's too late. So,
Definitely.
Vitor Vienna, tough guy, obviously, but that's sort of an understatement of the century. From Juan Fight Team, he lost to Shlemenko via decision. Took out Brian Baker pretty quick. What do you think about him?
Vito's a tough guy. I spent some time with him. We've been in the same locker room and things like that before. Talked to him a little bit more than I have some of the other guys. But, he's heavy-handed. I don't think he's as technical on the feet as I am, but he definitely, he trains consistently. And, we know he's world-class in jiu-jitsu. But I think he's more of a traditional gi practitioner more than a functional MMA jiu-jitsu guy. So I think that's all my side.
He's going to be in front of you. That's for sure. And I think your right hand is going to have a lot of opportunities if he just, the Juan style is a lot of pressure. So I think that plays in your favor. I mean, I'm a little biased, but just throwing that out there. From what I've seen anyway. I just said that the Juan style is to apply a lot of pressure. And he's going to be right in front of you. When you guys are on the feet anyway, I think your right hand's going to have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. He kind of swings over the top, a lot. He looks for big punches. I think I'm a better boxer. I think he's got, decent basic Muay Thai, however, though. Yeah,
he's decent in the clinch. I've seen, I went back and watched some of his fights again, just as a little refresher, and, pretty solid guy overall, great on the ground. I think it's going to be a great fight. It's definitely a very winnable fight, in my opinion, for you, and I think that if I was setting the favorite, I would definitely put you as a favorite for it, but who am I? So, the fight with Shlemenko had some pretty big changes afterwards. You cut your hair off. That's like a life change. That had to have taken a long time to grow.
Yeah, it was about 8 or 9 years of growth and about 7 or 8 of it being dreaded, actually.
Combined?
I grew I had a fro and then I had braids in college. So I was growing up at least 6 months to a year before I went to the dread. That's why I said 7 or 8 years, I think.
Wow.
I think it's 7 or 8. Yeah,
so...
But I don't know what did haircut.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear if you go back and watch the video that he there was definitely some hair pulling and things like that. So, I mean, you're committed. I don't think anybody will take that away from you.
Yeah, man, I just never wanted to have to deal with it again. You know what I mean? Or just have it in the back of my mind, have someone else go through it. Because, and it's in the past, but you can even see it in the first round. He goes for an inside trip, my head whips back, and I bounce off the cage. Well, I was pulling the back of my ponytail at the time. And in the second round, I just got caught up in the clinch. But, it's done and over with now. I'm ready to move on. But I just didn't want it in my head anymore, or have anyone else going for it,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a shame that you spent all those years putting it together and then you had to cut it off, sort of out of frustration. But I mean, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. That's how the song goes, right? You've heard that song before?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope. I was like, wow, that joke's not going over well. So, anyways, as far as camp, any changes for this fight? Anything new?
Nothing in particular. I didn't do as much Olympic weightlifting and strength and conditioning And, I think, that's one of my strengths is my power and explosiveness. I didn't do as much. I tried to focus some of the time on skill and technique. And then kind of change that for my endurance training as well. So I guess that would be the biggest thing, instead of, going to do powerlifting or Olympic deadlifts or whatever, I was trying to use my time, to work on more skills and technique. And also, this training camp was a little different, a little tougher because I'm working now. I'm in, school where most of my training camp before was done over the summer where, I didn't have to work because, I'm a teacher and I had summers off, and only the last few weeks of it going into the fights were, while I was working. So, I was fortunate enough where I could still have 2 mornings off a week, and the school I work for, the program I work for, the LEAD program, really supposed to have a great career, so they gave me 2 mornings off a week to train from about, 6 or 7 weeks after the fight.
Well, that's awesome. That definitely helps out. How many times do you have to go because you have a full-time job? How many times does that mean you're at the gym per day on average? Do you have to break it up, or is it all at once? You do it like in a block? Like what's my training schedule basically? Yeah.
Okay, pretty much like a schedule for me is Monday nights are hard MMA sparring night with hard rounds and then some sort of conditioning afterwards. And then on Tuesday mornings I come in and I either work ground, work my jiu-jitsu coaches or my Muay Thai and boxing with my head coach Marcus Marinelli on Tuesday mornings. And then at night I come back in and sometimes finish up some bag work if we've worked on technique in the morning on the pads. And then or I'll do some extra grappling, some extra rolling. And then another conditioning session at night. On Wednesdays, we come in and do like a hard no-gi grappling night, and then condition afterwards. Thursday morning, I come in and I do some type of skill or technique, a little bit more ground-oriented is the focus, and then a little bit of stand-up work, because then Thursday night I do hard boxing rounds, sometimes Muay Thai rounds. On Friday is like my wrestling and kind of judo day that I concentrate on, with a little bit of pad work to finish up. And then Saturday is kind of whatever I need to work on, and then followed by like super light sparring. So, so only Tuesday and Thursday are the only 2 days. I had to be at work at 7:45, so for me to get up in the morning and do cardio, so I got to be up pretty early. And, I'm normally in the gym, early 5 o'clock, late 7 o'clock, and regardless, I don't get up till 9:30 or 10 usually.
Who are your main everyday sparring partners? Do you do a lot of work with Stipe or Duel, or is it a combination of everybody?
A little bit of everybody. You know what I mean? For this fight, it was kind of tough. Honestly, I had good jiu-jitsu partners formed. One of my training partners is a brown belt, about 215, and real solid. But striking-wise, it's kind of hard to emulate. But my normal partners are Forrest Pets, and all that Forrest doesn't have the style. Forrest comes forward and throws heavy hands, and that's one thing Vitor does, do, so that was good. For the wrestling, I also use Joe Highland some. Earlier in my camp, I was helping Nick Duel, so we sparred some. I really didn't focus in on his stand-up style too much, more than trying to work on mine. But I do a lot of work with Stipe. It's just, there's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It's funny when we do stuff, I'm the one who looks to clench and stuff, even though he's bigger than me, just because, he's real fast and strong, and, he's one of the only guys that's ever, in my opinion, faster than me. People say he's not faster than me, but I think it's different when he's throwing punches at you. So I work for a little bit of everybody.
One key member of your group has left recently, Chris Lozano. Is that somebody, do you think him, I know you guys were friends inside and out of the gym and a lot of sparring and partners and stuff like that. Do you think that's going to, did that have any effect on your camp? I'm sure it had to, some way.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chris is a heck of a fighter, so, I miss that every day. Competition and push, and we did all of our strength and conditioning together, getting ready for season 5. When I had the summer off, we did a lot of Olympic lifting at SPC CrossFit, doing stuff like that. So I miss that push of having another elite and just a world-class fighter around. For this camp, what I mean, like I said, Vitor was a little different. Chris is a much better striker than Vitor Viana is, so it wasn't the same thing per se, but just the everyday being pushed in all aspects of MMA and just having the guy to train with, 100% do miss him. You know what I mean? I think later in the tournament with some other guys, Chris and style on matchups a little bit more, but we stay in contact. I talked to him about his upcoming fight versus Carl Anderson. He texted me this week to check in on me and whatnot. And, he's doing what he feels best for his career, and I want to see him do well March 30th. He's a good friend.
Absolutely. For the Vienna fight, any prediction?
You know what? I mean, it depends which Vitor Vienna shows up. You know what I mean? Versus Brian Baker, he stepped up and he made it a firefight. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
He was able to catch Baker. But other times, he kind of sits back. He kind of sits back and lets people dictate the pace. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I either clip him and get a knockout, or I win a unanimous decision. I really don't think, even when he fought Alexander Shlemenko, I really don't think Shlemenko tried to finish him. He kind of paced him, but he really didn't bring it. He started dancing around at the end and things like that. He really didn't take any chances once he knew he had the fight pace. And Vitor didn't push back a ton in that fight. However, I have seen him on video come forward and drop bombs too. So this depends when Vitor shows up.
Yeah, I agree. I've watched I've watched his Bellator career. I've watched some of his. He had a weird fight with Diego Silva. That was sort of unusual. But I mean, other than that, that's pretty much all I've seen. So I totally agree. Are you looking for your shot against Shlemenko again?
Yeah, I hope it gets there. I know I can beat him. I know in my mind, he's a top 20 middleweight in the world, and I'll box out stripping for 7-8 minutes of the fight. I need to put it all together next time. But it would be ideal. This Hector Lombard Alexander Shlemenko fight looks like it's not getting off the ground for whatever reason. So who knows what's going to happen in the future and what the winner of the tournament.
Well, I two things. Number one, I agree. I think I definitely think you won the first round against Shlemenko. I thought you were. I mean, it was close, but I think, in my opinion, of course, I'm a little biased. I thought you were doing great. And then the second round, obviously, the whole tripping and all that sort of stuff sort of swayed things a little bit, but the other thing I was going to say is I just read somewhere today that Hector Lombard, his contract is up in the air. So that might not, his contract with Bellator, I've been reading places, is up in the air.
Yeah, he was in Sydney for the UFC, which he ended up technically that's where he connected to.
Yeah.
But the rumors are his contract situation's up in the air. Bellator has the opportunity to match. We'll see what happens, but. I think if you wanted to resign, you'd probably resign by now.
Yeah, obviously I'm not a fight promoter, but if I was Bellator, I would be locking down as much talent as possible right now. Eddie Alvarez, even though he lost to Mike Chandler, is still one of the, in my opinion, probably top 5 at lightweight. Pat Curran is definitely one of the best fighters outside. Obviously, I'm not the first person to say that, so I'm not going to pretend like that's my statement, but one of the best guys outside of the UFC, Hector Lombard, so Brian Rogers, Chris Lozano, there's a lot of guys in that category, but lock the talent in now to stay competitive.
Yeah, definitely, there's a lot of opportunities, and, Bellator wants to build, which they're doing a great job of. I'm sure they want to keep their guys around. No one wants to build a guy, get him to a certain point of stardom, and have him leave on him.
Yeah, once his name gets out there, then he goes and makes a payday for somebody else. That's definitely not in the model. Before we wrap things up, I know you always have sponsors and people and friends and things you want to thank. You want to go ahead and do that, or anybody special this time?
Yeah, definitely. I got a great sponsor for this one. First, I want to thank Brentwood Limousines. Anyone who's in the Cleveland area, it's actually Chico Myosic's stepdad's limo company. So Brentwood Limousines, if anyone needs a safe ride when they're in the Northeast Ohio area or anywhere. Also, in an agency I work with, Love by Pit Bulls out of Michigan. I'm a big bully breed advocate, and believe it's bad owners, not the breed that, get pit bulls and other bully breeds in trouble. So do it more for them to try to, advocate for the breed and try to get, the bad reputation smashed,
I got 2 boxers myself.
Sweet Sweat USA. Let's see. Wizard of Hog Auto Mall, and which is a Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler dealership in my home area of Portage County. I can get anybody to hook up on a car fast. Barley House in Akron and Murphy's Ale House in Independence. Both are going to be showing my place this Friday, and food and drink discounts to everyone who comes, which is pretty cool. We're going to have it on the sound, on the big screens and everything. The Ice Block Cooler, which is probably my coolest sponsor on paper, which is a cooler that you can hold a 6-pack of anything you want that looks like a giant ice cube with a handle that you can put in your freezer, and then you just take it out, put your drinks in there, and it keeps them cold, which you'll probably see at weigh-ins and maybe even be walking down to the cage with it. Let's see, Intimidation Clothing, which I'll be wearing, good another Northeast Ohio brand that's supporting a lot of local MMA, Ohio fighters, and some guys in Bellator as well. And then Christie Creative Social Marketing, if anyone's looking to get their name out and whatnot. Christie Creative is a good company that can help you kind of branch out there. And Strong Style, and Mr. John P. Lennon, and all the Ohio and Pennsylvania fans that have supported me. Won't discriminate.
Okay. Well, as always, we'll be there. Well, I'll be there digitally, but this Friday, 7 o'clock. Do you have any idea what the bout order is? I'm showing that you're second to the last here on ShareDog. They tell you.
Yeah, I think it was going to be co-main event. But that's all I see. I think there's 500 cards, 5 things.
Okay, great. Well, we'll be there, and good luck, sir.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the support from Stand 'em Up. You guys do a great job.
Hey.
Covering not just the Ohio but the national stuff. And I honestly really enjoyed the pre-fight breakdowns and the scenarios that you put out there. I think those are pretty cool. And you don't see many journalists. You know what I mean? That you don't see many people put their thoughts and opinions behind the fight breakdown and analyze it from a fighter's perspective and stuff like that. You get a lot of journalists that just are fans. They just promote fan stuff, but they don't get kind of behind the science of the game, which is just pretty cool. Something I always enjoy on Saturdays fighting.
Hey, I really appreciate that. I do. It's tough. It's sort of like there's not a lot of feedback usually, so I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem. I think it's one of the coolest things around. You know what I mean? As far as on something, I like how you break down the scenarios. You say from a fighter's perspective. You know what I mean? Which is cool instead of people just going, making pickups.
Absolutely, and you know what? I have something coming up for you, so I hope that you enjoy it and I don't let you down.
Appreciate it.
Well, as always, thanks again for taking the time with us. I know you're busy.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
What's up, everybody? I just wanted to introduce you all to my sponsors for Bellator 61. Intimidation Clothing, the shorts I'll also be wearing. Christie Creative, Ice Block Cooler, check that out, iceblockcooler.com. Crow's Auto Body, Pies Auto Mall in Rootstown, Ohio. Brentwood Limos, if you're in the Cleveland area and you need to take a ride, that's who you need to go to. You can always follow me on Twitter at BROG2.mp4. Sweet Sweat, Home Tough Weight, my strength coach, Cal Cole. Fast Graphics, he does all my logos, shorts and banners and stuff. Murphy's Ale House, sister company with the Barley House, which I'll be throwing my watch party there for all of my Bellator fights. And then here are the shorts I'll be wearing, either black and white or white and black. And also one more person, Love by a Pitbull, a Pitbull advocacy animal agency that I'm working with. Thanks for all the support and thanks for watching Bellator.